Oilie, many congratulations. 7 wickets for you. How much of a dream comeback was this?
Yeah, huge dream. There was a time where I never thought I would be back on the pitch for England, but to be back on the pitch this week and do that for the team and get the win, such a special feeling. And to walk off there with all the lads, first test of the summer, a win under our belt, an amazing feeling.
It wasn't your first game, of course, but you hadn't played for a couple of years. Therefore, did it feel like your debut all over again? A few nerves jangling?
Yeah, it's probably the worst nerves I've had before a game, to be honest. Day before, anxiety through the roof. First over, couldn't feel my legs. But after the first wicket, they calmed a bit, tried to calm my emotions. But the Lord's crowd were unbelievable. First over, one of the loudest grounds I've played under. So, yeah, just an amazing feeling and a great week.
And talk us through your emotions at the end of that remarkable comeback over. I mean, in your wildest dreams, you can't imagine you're going to get a triple wicket made.
No, I've never done it before. Yeah, the feelings were just so surreal. I was just looking around. The crowd were amazing. And yeah, it's just, I didn't really have any words to describe how I felt, but when it settled in, looking back at it, it's one of the highlights of my career so far, for sure.
A bowler's match, of course. Just explain why the conditions were so helpful for the bowlers and so difficult for the batters.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we just bowled really well in it as well. I think we hit the stumps a lot as a bowling group, and obviously we got up and down a bit towards the end, a lot of seam movement sideways. And our plans were really clear, which we stuck to, and we came out the right side of the result. And I thought Oilie played unbelievable on debut as well, to get us to a great score there, second innings, and give us something to defend.
So you, of course, are standing here with the Player of the Match award, but everybody talks about bowling in partnerships. 4 seamers, no Latham.
Yeah, it was a really enjoyable week to be part of that seam group. Everyone bowled really well. Gus again fired for here, he loves bowling here. And Tungi's just an unbelievable bowler. He never misses, 90 miles an hour. And it's just a really enjoyable week to be part of that seam attack. Hopefully we can keep that going through the summer.
And after 2 years away from it now, as this taste of success, does it make you doubly determined to make sure that your next stint with England will be a longer one?
Yeah, definitely. I know this is just the start, and I know there's a lot of hard work to go. I've just got to put those yards in to make sure, like you say, it is a long career, and no doubt this time.
Many congratulations, a great week for you.
Thank you.
As always, a word with the 2 captains, and first of all, a few words from New Zealand's Tom Latham.
Tom, New Zealand have a sketchy record on this ground, just 1 win in your history here, but after you bowled England out for 140, did you think this time it's going to be different?
Yeah, I guess so. I thought the way we set the tone with the new ball on day 1 was outstanding. I think you look at the test match as a whole, from a bowling point of view, there was some extremely talented bowlers on show and managed to exploit the conditions reasonably well. And I guess throughout the whole test match we had our opportunities, but we weren't able to capitalise on them.
Given that you're in a pretty handy position after that first innings, how do you look at the points where it started to go wrong for you after that?
I guess from our first innings, to be in the position we were, we weren't necessarily able to get through that tricky phase on day 1, but again, we still had our opportunities throughout that second innings as well, and whether it be 200 or something like that, we just weren't able to form partnerships from a batting point of view, and we obviously know the surface wasn't easy. It was certainly challenging from the bowler's point of view. As I said, they managed to hit some areas for long periods of time and not necessarily give us much. So I guess from our point of view, it's important that we trust the work that we've been putting in over the last couple of weeks, and we know things will be different at the Oval, and we've got to take confidence, I guess, from the work that we've done over the last couple of weeks.
And we think of New Zealand as such an efficient side generally. Those 5 catches that went down in both innings in a low-scoring game become very costly.
Yeah, I said that before the series that sometimes against England, it's those small moments that that may swing a test match either way, and I guess when it's a low-scoring affair, then those opportunities do become important. But certainly not through a lack of trying. I know the guys are always working on it, desperate to do well, but hopefully we can tidy up a few areas heading into the Oval and go from there.
As an experienced opening batsman, you're used to tricky conditions, but just explain why it was so difficult this week.
It was probably more the up and down nature of the surface, I think. As a batter, you're used to the ball, moving sideways and being able to adjust or play the line. But I think when it goes up and down, not necessarily having trust in the surface, it does make things hard and sort of gets you caught on the crease. And I guess you look at a lot of the dismissals throughout the whole Test match, bowls, LBs, and caught behinds. Is probably more a case of guys being caught on the crease. And as I said, there were two quality bowling attacks that exploited the conditions really well, and unfortunately weren't able to win those key moments.
It looked like in the second innings you tried to come and tough it out, which is one approach. Was there any thought given to a slightly riskier or more of a gambling approach?
I guess they were some of the conversations that have been having today, and I guess hindsight's a wonderful thing, and I guess you always look at ways that you could have maybe done things better. I think the way GP came out and played today, was positive. When he got a ball in his areas and he managed to score, and I guess that's all the things that you can look at, and I guess hindsight, we maybe could have done that, and things maybe could have been different, but obviously understand the ball was still doing the same things, but obviously not ideal from our point of view, but as I said, it's important that we trust ourselves and we take that into next week.
1-0 down, 2 to play, but do you feel as a captain that what you've shown this week is a capability of getting 20 wickets and therefore you're still very much in the series?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, as I said, the preparation that we've had over the last couple of weeks has been exactly what we want, and from a bowling point of view to see the likes of Kyle Jamieson and Will O'Rourke back from long-term injuries is great to see, and obviously we're building nicely with Nathan Smith, who's come on leaps and bounds over the last 12 months, and obviously we've got the experience of Matt Henry too. So from a bowling point of view, I thought we did a fantastic job to keep hanging in there, and hopefully we can keep getting better from here.
Thanks for your time. We'll see you next week.
We don't. And now for a few words, England's Ben Stokes.
Ben, big smile at the end there. You said before the game it's all about the result this week, therefore the perfect start to your summer.
Yeah, good result. I thought coming in after a long time, a lot of things happening away from the field to come up and turn up and put in the performance that we did here. And Test cricket is tough, it's hard. You're never sure what you're going to get presented with in terms of conditions or whatever it may be. And I thought the way that we identified the conditions that was in front of us this week, and identified the way that we thought we needed to go about it. We did that very quickly, and I think that's a huge contribution as to why we came out with the win this week.
Low-scoring, scrappy kind of a game. You had a 2-day affair in Melbourne as well. You're kind of used to these things. But would you identify a slightly different approach this time than perhaps last, or not?
I think we were just quicker to, the conversations this week were very quick to happen. Sometimes when you've got a lot of people in the dressing room, there can be a lot of ideas and stuff floating around, but I think we all voiced them pretty well, and then that's where you get to a situation where you can go out there and you're very clear as a team. And look, it was a wicket that presented its challenges as a batting unit, but also I sometimes feel as a bowling unit presented challenges there when you feel like you're massively in the game. And we knew what we needed to do. We were very clear about our plans towards the New Zealand batsmen this week, and we executed them probably as well as I've seen an England bowling group do that since I've been captain. So look, tough conditions, with both, particularly with the bat, but we've got to go up against another quality team, New Zealand, this week, who exploited the conditions well at times. But yeah, we were very good this week at doing that.
A word for Emilio Gay, not an easy game to make your debut in as an opening batter, and only 2 half centuries in the game, and he top scored in his first game. That 57 worth a few more.
Yeah, it is. I think I said to him that's as tough as that's on the top end of tough in terms of Test cricket. The conditions that he had to go out, the pressure that he went out with there in the third innings, obviously was such a low scoring game. So that 50 runs he got on the top there was monumental in terms of us getting to a lead, and that we were very sort of comfortable with that we could secure the victory. But yeah, that's a tough introduction to Test cricket, and I think it's going to do him the world of good. Obviously, we'd like to see more runs. You always do as a batter, but yeah, no, that was a massive contribution for Oilie on debut.
You mentioned the outstanding bowling from the unit as a whole. Obviously, lots of focus on Ollie Robinson in his comeback. He's been left out for the last 2 years under your captaincy. Did you see a different Ollie Robinson this week?
Oh look, the skill that Oilie possesses has never been questioned, and I think that was very evident to see this week. The relentlessness in his line and his length, and his unbelievable ability to sort of never look like he's going to miss where he wants to bowl. And look, he's been what an introduction back into the team for him. Obviously, I heard him speak there. It's been an emotional week for him, but the attitude that we all know that Oilie has is incredibly competitive. Once he gets over that white line, he's a different person. And that's what we want to see going forward from Oilie. He's a phenomenal bowler. He led the attack brilliantly well this week, along with Gus. Again, who's just Mr. Lords, isn't he? He just loves this place. So, look, as a bowling unit, we were great. I just sort of chipped in at the back end every now and again.
Can I ask you about your batting? I mean, it's a low-scoring game. One obviously understands that context. It's quite a while now since you've scored consistently, and you move yourself down one place in the order in this game. Is that something that is concerning you?
Look, we just wanted the first game of the Test match. If there's somewhere others, so that's where I'm concentrating everything at the moment.
Okay, thanks for your time. Well done this week.